get set up. even even pushing back the time, even pushing back the time, um, for stream to um, even pushing back the time for stream to start, it did not help. The the it didn't help me with being on time. Well, I mean, I guess it did, sort of. I mean, I was on time today. I mean, hell, I even started at, technically 1 minute early. So that's neat. Um, but, okay, hold on. I even started 1 minute early, which was great. But, you know, whatever. Anyway, let me just make sure this is working. Okay, cool. Cool. We're working. Oh shit, excuse me. Right. Okay. Well, we got things most of the way set up. We got things set up enough. I mean, I'm just getting 7 Nights 2 running on the other monitor, so that way I can get those dailies done. Because yeah, I might have the day off, but you know, I gotta get on that Genshin grind for, because I still need an absolute ass ton of materials. So there's that. And I'm gonna need plenty of time to devote to that. I'm gonna need plenty of time to actually do that, because it's seriously, it is an absolutely absurd amount of material, and some might, and some part of me goes, you idiot, just do it on Sunday, so that way you can just farm whatever you want. But the thing is, most of what I want in terms of, material that I need to advance, the characters that I want to, most of that, drops on Saturday. So it's not like I'm, really in need to, get it done. I don't need to push it back to Saturday, to have that, or Sunday, I mean, and have that be, the soonest day, because today, Saturday, is the soonest day. Anyway, I got the. I don't know. At this point, I'm just, rambling like some kind of fuckwit. Anyway, let me get an arena cycle started over on the other monitor, and then I can show off the smoke, provided I remember where the fuck I put it. All right, so the cigar has vanished. The cigar has vanished. Okay, it's not in the box. I took it out of the box before I started stream. How in the fuck is it? Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay. Found it. It was just in a weird spot on the little fold out table that I keep, my ashtray and whatnot on. Yeah, alright. I know what I'm doing. Anyway, Jesus fuck. It's 6:30. I guess I'm a little tired. I guess I'm a little tired. Oh god. It's been an interesting week. That's what I'll say about it. It's been an interesting week. But let me show off what I've got first. Bleh. Let me show off what I got first. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull it up on Cigars International, and we're gonna look at it together. Or at least we're gonna look at, whatever. Beep 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 beep. But I'm gonna be, I'm not gonna be dumb about, uh, you know, the, this is still on sale. Holy shit. Never mind. Anyway, so yeah, there we go. Okay, so I've got pulled up what we're going to be looking at in terms of what I ended up buying, because ooh, I got some good stuff. I got some really good stuff. So let me just pop this out of the plastic first, so I can show you what we're going to be smoking on this morning. Okay. So, what are we smoking on this morning? Oh, well. I am extremely pleased to disclose that today we will be smoking on the Ave Maria Reconquista. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. See, I really do. I like, I had a bit of a craving for this particular brand. I mean, not this particular blend, the brand, the name. What would which one would I prefer to have? It's simple, The Dark Knight. But getting essentially all of the others in a pretty reasonably priced purchase is essentially the next best thing. I mean, you know, that's at least how it is. It's at least how it stacks up in my mind. Also, I don't know why I still have this Diablo tube. I don't know. Diablo. I don't know why I still have that. I think I bought that in Seymour. That old Punch Diablo. I think I bought that in Seymour at the cigar shop that was, on the way to, and it was on the route that I took to actually get to my internship. You know, not nice. I mean, it wasn't just a cigar shop. It was just kind of a smoke shop. Nice place. The guy who ran it, nice guy. You know, he asked me if I had any suggestions for what he should stock, and I went, man, I don't know. Not really sure how the people of Seymour, really take to cigars. I'm trying to find the cap to cut it. They're trying to find, how much I want to get off of here. Yeah, that's a good cut. That's a good cut, and it's, normally I'd be like, oh, and it's not crooked, but being on this shape, a little crooked is fine, because that helps with the surface area that we'll be drawing off of. Anyway, let me see. Okay, well, that's still set to 7 nights too. That's cool. Okay. So what did we actually buy? So, based on the shape of the Reconquista, this is what I bought. I mean, this is one of the things that I bought. 20 cigars, four, five, five different blends, all really good because it's fucking AJ Fernandez, really good. But what I also bought was this. Like I said, I really, really wanted some Ave Marias. These all come in, these are different sizes, but it's essentially every blend. I essentially got every single blend except the Dark Knight, I think. Hold on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different blends. Oh wait, I didn't get the Argentum anywhere, or the Dark Knight. I didn't get any of the really dark ones. Huh. Anyway, that was what I ended up buying. And let's see, this is 120 and that's 100. I ended up getting it for like 120 bucks. So about half price. Because of coupon codes and whatnot. So, that's good stuff. Well, let's get this lit up. My nephew got his before I got mine because I was a little bit slower with my purchase. So he bought the first thing with these in it, and He said that even though they're this, agonizing double torpedo shape, that he hasn't had any problems. I'm a little bit skeptical, but, you know, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to give it a shot. Okay, the cut was just a little bit raggedy, I guess. I guess not perfect. Oh yeah, that is a tight draw. That is a tight draw, but that should change once the ends, burns off and opens up. Which I'm hoping at least. We'll see. Oh, there they are. Oh, there they are. Okay. You just got a long stroke on there. I didn't do that. Alright. Let's get this bad boy lit up, shall we? Hmm. That is. It was surprisingly mild and earthy. The reason why I say surprisingly is because, when it comes to cigars that are blended by AJ Fernandez, usually there is, a punch in the nose level of spice or pepper on light up, but not at all on this, which is again surprising. I mean, I'm actually a little disappointed because normally, AJ fucking, you know, punches me directly in the face when I first light up, but I guess not. I rescind my previous statement. There it is. There it is. It's right after light up. He tricked me. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, he tricked me. Well played, AJ. Well played. I definitely did not expect that. But yeah, so returning to a point that I had made, about this being an interesting week. That is definitely a way to describe it. Because I mean, my week's been great. My week is well, yeah, no, yeah. My week has been great. I mean, yeah, I had this weird work schedule where I would, essentially just, why did I say it like that? Where I would essentially just, take a nap and then go to work and then take a nap and then go to work. And as a result, my nightmares intensified. That was cool. That was fun. Um, but, but, it was fine. It was fine. I got to do driving for Domino's. I really like that because I don't have to, deal with line related bullshit like I have to do at Taco Bell. So it's a nice break from that. You know, tips are also really good. I like that. I like that. Uh, the cars are super cool. I think I said that last time. That the cars are just really cool. So it's not been bad. I mean, I did have food poisoning earlier this week, which sucked, and caused me to vomit strawberries. And when I say that, strawberries isn't code for anything. I mean, I actually ate strawberries, the fruit, and then went to work and then vomited. And so, since the strawberries were the only thing I had eaten, or at least the most recent thing that I had eaten, that was what I That was what came out when I vomited, other than various fluids. So yeah, that was cool. That was fun. the boss at Domino's also didn't seem to care that I vomited. But I guess since I was fine, he was okay with it. Because I mentioned it to him, because, whatever. And he went, oh, okay. Just kind of nonchalant about it. I went, all right, that's interesting. That's an interesting reaction to that information. But, hey, I like I said, I felt better. Okay, I didn't feel immediately better after vomiting, but I did eventually feel better. It's how it is. I mean, sometimes you get food poisoning, and it just so happens that I have had food poisoning enough times to where I can easily recognize it, and then I know what steps to take in order to help with shaking it off, so that way I don't just feel bad for days. But I didn't take those steps this time because the steps that I take in order to make it not suck make it suck a lot more in the short term. So I was really trapped in some short term thinking, and you know did not do what I should have done. I was not a good boy about it, and did not do what I should have done in order to reduce the amount of time that I felt terrible. So there's that. That being said, I did vomit, and then after I really got moving at work, uh, it was fine. It was fine. I mean, I still felt bad for a while, but eventually I just kind of shook it off. You know, I mean, I guess one might say that I even walked it off, because I mean, there's a bit of walking when it comes to making deliveries to various people throughout town. I did so much running. I did so much running between just across basically the entirety of the town, which is fine because I mean it's what I was actually getting paid to do, so I don't mind at all. It was great. But yeah, the whole nap thing. I mean, while yes, I was ensuring that I was getting at least a somewhat adequate amount of rest, uh, it was not ideal, as my nightmares intensified quite a bit, and I don't like that. Don't like that. One such nightmare that I had involved a plane crash, well water, and malevolent spirits, which I will explain when I get back from the bathroom. So in the meantime, I'm gonna put on some Seven Nights 2 gameplay, and be back as quickly as I can. Be back as quickly as I can. So I'm gonna set this up. Hopefully this doesn't crash while I'm gone, and also I'm going to turn the sound back on. Properties, speakers. Yeah, it's working. Okay, I will be right back. I'm gonna go use the bathroom. Guess who's back? It's me. Alright, so something funny did happen while I was in the bathroom. I spat on the counter by accident. I kind of just turned my head and just spat and realized, oh, yeah, I'm not outside. So I had to clean that up. That was cool. That was fun. Which made me realize that, yeah, I need to do a load of towels, among other things. But, whatever. But, before we progress any further, I was thinking of a handful of things in the bathroom. First of all, my mom's friend is presently in the hospital, and as a result, my mother is not here, and the house has been really, really quiet. It's been really, really peaceful. It's been really nice. Makes me want to send my mom on vacation, so that way I can just kind of, But yeah, so and while I don't completely understand all the details about what necessarily is going on with with mom's friend, from what I gather, essentially, uh, you know, essentially, she's going to be getting a new butthole, which really shouldn't matter because she is a butthole. But hey, I thought that joke would, I thought I would make that joke because I know she's gonna watch the VOD, so I'm gonna get a text message about that joke later. Maybe. It's still funny. It's still funny. I still think it's funny. But another thing that I was thinking of, and I don't know why, is Treasure Planet. The movie. Hold on. Was it a Disney movie? Treasure Planet. Hold on. We're gonna look this up. Treasure Planet, 2002 film. Okay, 2002 film. Who made this? Distributed by Walt Disney Pictures. Okay, so yeah, the Disney movie Treasure Planet. I've been thinking about Treasure Planet, and the reason why is because as a kid, Treasure Planet is a strange movie. I mean, it's a little weird. It's a little weird. But thinking about it again with my increased levels of knowledge, Treasure Planet, the logic of it operates kind of similar to how the space travel logic of Treasure Planet operates the same way as it does in D&D, because which is really odd. It's an odd choice. And I realized that, maybe the people who, made the movie were D&D nerds and knew how, all that stuff worked, or maybe they weren't, and they were just like, it's a kids movie, who cares? You don't need to go into, you don't really need to be all, you don't really need to be super specific about it. But, it's a really strange movie, because, it could either be, really heavily D&D inspired in terms of how the world works, or it could just not be, and they were just like, this is fine. It's a kids movie. Who cares? I mean, I also remember the PS2 game. I think I still have it somewhere behind me, which was neat. I don't think I ever beat it, but it was a neat game. I mean, it's a PS2 game based off of a Disney movie, so it follows the story. Relatively, but yeah, it still follows the story, but they added stuff in to make it more like a video game, so it's fine. It's an all right game. You know. Uh, Speaking of PS2 games, well, not even really PS2 games, but games that were on the PS2 that I want to, get through. Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. I really want to get through that because I beat the hell out of Kingdom Hearts 2 on the PS2. But Final Mix is a different beast because you get critical mode, you get all the extra stuff, and that's really good. And I really want to experience that because I mean, I've seen stuff relating to the Final Mix exclusive content, and all I can say is, yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm not a child anymore, which means that I can play critical mode. Well, I mean, I probably could have played through critical mode even as a child. I would have struggled, um, but I still would have had fun. And I mean, I played about halfway through it on critical mode, um, before getting this new computer, and hell yeah, it was a great time. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun with it. I tell you what though, I'm not gonna play Chain of Memories because Chain of Memories is a neat game. And just the mechanics of it. Using your cards to do attacks and this and that and blah blah blah, etc. etc. That's really cool. I just don't. If I'm gonna play a card game like that, if I'm gonna play a game that uses cards, I want it to be a bit slower paced. Not an action RPG. You know, I don't want it to be an action RPG. So no, I'm not gonna. That I'm not really into that. I'm not really into Chain of Memories. I mean, the story is all well and good and nice, and this and that and blah blah blah. And I understand that kind of, it does kind of link one and two together, but I just don't like it that much. You know, I just don't like it that much. Um, Honestly, I'd rather play Kingdom Hearts 1, and Kingdom Hearts 1 it's not a bad game. Kingdom Hearts 1 is not a bad game. It's just I played Kingdom Hearts 2 first, and the changes they made from 1 to 2 kind of spoiled me a little bit in terms of, oh, KH1 doesn't have, this, which that sucks that it doesn't have various things. You are consuming cannabis? No, no. This is 100% tobacco, and welcome back, welcome back. It's been a few weeks. Welcome back. It's been a few weeks. I'm talking about PS2 games, you know, um, and how some of them are good and some of them are better. Um, but yeah, Kingdom Hearts 1. I mean, it's obviously a first attempt, which means that they kind of very tobacco for the soul. Exactly, exactly. And like I said at the beginning of stream, this particular brand I have been craving just a little bit for some time. For reference, this is the Ave Maria Reconquista. It is quite nice. At least, right now it's still really earthy, and I like that. It's not, the spice has not been huge. On the subject of cannabis, I haven't, I haven't smoked weed for, hmm, it's been a while. Let's see, it was, I think, 4-ish years, and I really do not have a desire to do so again because you know the last time I had smoked weed, I got so high that my object permanence stopped functioning, which was rough because I was at I was at my workplace after we had finished work for the day, and I needed to drive home. And you know, object permanence is really, really important for driving. Um, yeah, object permanence is really, really important for driving. And so lacking that on the drive home was terrible, was really bad. I also had to micromanage my movements because it, yeah, that cut really was kind of raggedy. Mm. But hypersensitive then, stand up for about 3 hours. Yeah, hypersensitive, yes, but also the guy who used to work there who would typically have that stuff. He had the good stuff, um, and so I mean, I had taken I think two, yeah, I had taken two just monstrous draws off of the joint, and of course we were hotboxing in an SUV, so that also did not help. But it was good stuff, and so it took effect quickly, and that effect was quite strong. I mean, I'd lost object permanence, and it lasted a while. It lasted a while. It's not like the first time I got high and went to school the next day and was still half high the day after. We have something called ooh tobacco with hashish. Okay, okay, that does sound like good stuff. That does sound like really good stuff. I've never actually had hashish. I know what it is, and I understand, I understand what it is. It's just, and it, maybe, I could be, I could be convinced to try it if I did, I mean, it probably would be just a cursory search to find somewhere within a decent driving distance to, experience that. It's something I can be convinced to try. Definitely. But when yeah, the last time I got high, you really don't realize how many different movements are seemingly really simple, but when you have to manually do all the movements, it's terrible. It's awful. Luckily, I don't live too far from my workplace, either of them, really, since they're basically adjacent to each other. But driving was terrible, and with marijuana, if you don't need it, don't try. Very addictive. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. That being said, when it comes to things that are addictive, I do maintain a pretty strong grip on a pretty strong grip on my addiction. I mean, when it comes to tobacco, I limit myself pretty hard. Um, for reference, I've quit smoking cigarettes 5 different times, and part of that was during the summer when I would be off from college, I would smoke cigarettes in order to get breaks, and then when I went to college, I would just finish the pack that I had, and then I just wouldn't buy anymore, and so it would just go from that to cold turkey. Of course, I wasn't smoking over much back then. Um, for reference, a cigar is I think a Toro size cigar, which is 5 inches, 50 ring gauge, is about willpower. Well, I mean, you, you could say that I have the willpower. I could also see someone making the argument that I really don't because I'm still smoking even after quitting so many times. Uh, I guess it would be more accurate to say I've gone through nicotine withdrawal enough times. But as cliche as it sounds, I can quit if I wanted to, It's just that I know that with cigars, because when my allergies have acted up and my sinuses have drained and I don't want to smoke because I can't taste it, it sucks. It sucks going through nicotine withdrawal off of cigars. Usually when my allergies act up and my sinuses drain, I get really sick. And when I say really sick, I mean I do not have the strength to get out of bed. A 20 pack of wow. Ooh. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, yeah, setting a limit is good. It's having the it's having the willpower and the discipline to hold yourself to that limit that is important. You can you know you can make goals and set limits and whatnot all you want, but if you don't actually hold yourself to it, then well, it's kind of at that point you're just kind of blowing hot air at yourself, as it were. That is not the right phrase to use. I don't know. Um, but you gotta when it comes to any addiction, you really have to hold yourself to it. Um, and, it's fine. It's when I'm working in front of a PC. Yeah, yeah. You kind of get into the flow of what you're doing, and you know just kind of that's just kind of an automatic motion that you're going through. My nephew, who also smokes cigars, I got him into it. He's frequently talked to me about how at work he'll kind of do smoking motions with a pen. He'll just and pretend to light it and just have it in his mouth. You know, um, and it's humorous to hear about, but he's a much heavier smoker than me. Which I mean, he's an adult. He can he's perfectly capable of making his own decisions. And allocating the necessary funds to keep up his pace. Um, and you know, good to see you. Yep, thought I'd pop in. Projects going well. Projects are going well. Let me not use the plural. Let me use the singular. The big project is going quite well. I have had quite a lot of inspiration and have been planning quite a lot of things that I want to work on. I have the day off today, so I do intend to get at least a little bit of work done. I also have the day off from one of my jobs tomorrow, so that'll be more work. As for the other projects, no, I have not made any progress on them at all. But that I just chalk up to getting those environments set up again, being somewhat tedious. But I have had quite a bit of inspiration, and I've been doing little things when I can. This last week has not necessarily been generous with making progress, but to kind of help to kind of help with that, I've been kind of storing things that I want to get done, ideas in the back of my mind and kind of circulating them and thinking about them when I'm doing some of the more monotonous tasks at work. So that way I can really just hit the keyboard and get it done. Uh, you know, one of the things that I've had a lot of really heavy inspiration with is working on the samurai class, which is going to be really cool. It's which might be just me, that's just my perspective on it, but I think it's going to be really cool. And even shooting some of my ideas to, of course, my nephew and even some of my work colleagues, they agree that it's going to be really cool. So I I hope that I mean, the first iteration is not going to be fantastic, obviously, but I still think it's gonna be a good start, if nothing else. I need to double check this. Why is this not working? Okay, hold on. Are we still good? I think we're still good. Let me see. Yeah, we're still good. Okay. All right. Just had to check the live stream on the browser window to make sure it was still working because gotta if a technical issue pops up, then need to head that off with a pass. Uh, Last week, for some reason, my computer just shut off, just, just shut off, and so we had to have a part two. So that was a little strange. I did various hardware and software tests to see what happened, and it seemed to be just a you know oops computer kind of thing. I don't know. It was just random, and it didn't seem like it actually was anything serious. It didn't seem like it was anything serious. There is one more thing that I could do to check. There is one thing that I can check. One more thing. Um, but I'll do that I'll do that after I get up and before I kind of head out for the day. But yeah, it's the big project has been going well. Um, uh, luckily I've got a few days off, at least from at least one job. Today is special as I have the day off from both. So just getting some work done. On letting my mind work instead of my body. Just resting and relaxing the body, letting the mind just go, so that way get some mental stimulation. So that way I don't just kind of what's the phrase? So I don't kind of descend into kind of a lull, as it were. Um, yeah. Well, yeah. That's it's going well. It's going well. Um, there's some other changes that have been proposed that I've discussed with some people that I think we'll try to get implemented. Not that they're ultimately relevant right now. It's gonna warrant some testing, but just improvements, and also just getting more of the work done, so that way I don't have to do it later. Oh. This was a hold on 72-hour work week in terms of jobs, so not exactly been the most generous for actually getting project work done, but like I said, I've just been stashing it in the back of my mind. Hmm. But yeah, looping back a little bit to you know Kingdom Hearts, PS2 games. Uh, yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2. Playing it first was not the best idea, but at the same time, you know, I'm pretty sure I was playing on my nephew's PlayStation, and playing their copy of the game. They didn't have the first one, and then I received both Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 as a birthday present one year from my cousin. So I just I tried popped in Kingdom Hearts 1 because I thought, well, it's the first game, I should play it, and have it with the experience that I had with Kingdom Hearts 2. It was like, oh, this is different. This is different, and I think if I were to pick the game back up to today, for example, that I would be able to tolerate the difference. But as a kid, I just could not. I just could not, and so I just did not want to play the first game. I did not want to beat it. I didn't want to. I did get pretty close on one playthrough, which I think might still be on the old memory card, which means I could probably finish it out, no problem. But it just was not appealing to me. But I think now if I were to go back and go, all right, let's play Kingdom Hearts 1. I could do it and I could get through it without without feeling sour about it, you know. And I still have to play through Kingdom Hearts 3. Just you know, I have to do that too, because I did end up buying it on the Epic Store. It's the only game. It's the only reason why I made an Epic account, and why it's the only game in my library on Epic. So I need to. I don't have the launcher on this computer, and I probably should. Eventually when I want to play Kingdom Hearts 3 and actually get through it, I definitely will need to re-download the Epic launcher so that I can download that game. But first things first. Want to get through Kingdom Hearts. I want to get through Kingdom Hearts 2. I really, on critical mode, the final mix version, blah blah blah. I really want to do that because Kingdom Hearts 2 is fun. It's a lot of fun, even after all this time. I mean, the game came out. When did Kingdom Hearts 2 come out? Kingdom Hearts 2. DOM. Kingdom Hearts 2, not 2.8. Hit the button. Hit the right button. Kingdom Hearts 2 originally released at the end of 2005, so almost 20 years ago. And it is still so much fun. It is still really, really hard. Or not really hard. I mean, it can be. It can be. But it's still just really good. It's still really, really good. And so, I think, I think it's still pretty solid. So, you know, it's from a previous era of gaming where developers were you know getting in there making making a game that was there's a complex and compelling narrative at play, assuming that you play the games to keep up with it. But the gameplay is still so solid, even to this day, even 20 years later, on the PS2, which, hey, if you know me, you know that I think the PS2 is just the greatest console of all time. And if I remember correctly, before the Switch came out, I think the PS2 was the greatest selling console of all time. Before the Switch, of course, because the Switch just exploded. The Switch just exploded. Nintendo really outdid them. I have a Switch, and having played with it, the Switch is a fantastic console. The Wii U walked so that the Switch could just sprint. I mean, I never actually I never owned a Wii U, but I understand what it is and how it works, and it's a Switch prototype, if anything else. Nintendo was just kind of, Nintendo likes to experiment still. I mean, if you look at their various console designs over the years, I mean, the N64 controller itself is just so bizarre. When you look at other controllers, because you look at other controllers like your PlayStation controllers, the DualShock, how it's pretty standard. Your Xbox controllers are pretty standard, but then you look at the GameCube, not the GameCube, the GameCube controller is also pretty standard. But if you look at the N64 controller, it's bizarre because it's got the one joystick in the middle, and then just this kind of triple pronged shape where it's kind of weird to hold because you're gonna you don't, I mean, most humans don't have three arms, three hands to hold all three prongs. So you gotta kind of figure out, like, okay, which hand, where do my hands go? And that's somewhat dependent on what game you're playing. If you're playing something like Super Mario 64 or Ocarina of Time, you kind of figure, okay, most of my buttons that are going to be maximally useful in for gameplay are here, and so I'm going to hold it like this. It was just it's a bizarre thing, but it works. It works, and it works really well. Super Mario 64 and Ocarina of Time are still phenomenal games even after all this time. I mean, hell, I think Ocarina of Time is still widely regarded as the greatest game of all time, and man, is it so good. Ironically enough, I played Ocarina of Time as a kid on the N64 originally, and I didn't beat it. I think I got to the Fire Temple, and then I was playing it on my cousin's N64. So of course it wasn't mine, whatever. And uh, didn't beat it. It wasn't until I got a Wii and then got a GameCube disc that contained Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask that I beat Ocarina of Time. And then I beat Majora's Mask. I tried Zelda 1 and I tried Zelda 2. And I mean, between those two games, I did enjoy Zelda 1 more. Zelda 2 was, Zelda 2 is kind of, an odd child when it comes to Zelda games. Zelda 1, of course, is, the first. It's their first attempt, it's an adventure game. A lot like Dragon Quest. Um, but I didn't beat Zelda. I haven't beaten Zelda 1 or Zelda 2, but I've beaten Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. I like Majora's Mask more. Just I like my games. I like my games a little bit darker when it comes to adventure. I guess that's why I just beat the hell out of Twilight Princess. Oh my god, I've beaten Twilight Princess so many times, and I still love it. I still love it. I think I have. I need to get a hold of the HD remaster with the harder content and whatnot, so that way I can do that and beat that, because that I've beaten Twilight Princess so many times that nothing's really challenging in that game, but um, with the hard, doing like the hard mode on it on the HD is, oh yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good stuff. You know, there's so many games I want to play. There's so many games I want to play, and you know, actually, actually, that reminds me. Speaking of games that I want to play, um, I was talking with my nephew on Wednesday. We were talking about talking. Oh, there it is. We are tarring up a little bit. We are talking about how he plays games with his roommates, and one of them kind of sucks at the whole cooperative team stuff. And I said, and me being the older guy was like, you guys with your hell divers, you guys, you're. I mean, Aiden knows, but it's like, man, these, your roommates, they don't know the real shit, like Guns of Icarus, which, you know, Guns of Icarus was, it's called, the original game is called Flight of the Icarus now. The developers changed the name, but Guns of Icarus Online, hell of a game. Even I booted it up on Wednesday just to kind of see what had changed because Alliance came out and I don't really know what that's about, but hell of a game. And I said to my nephew, I said, Aiden, I could, I was looking at the Steam page and went, Aiden, this game is cheap. This game is cheap. I could buy this game for you and two of your roommates, since it's a four player experience, at maximum per airship. I said we could do this. We could have some real fun here playing some Guns of Icarus online. And he was up for it. He was up for it. I'm up for it because it's going to be a lot. If I can convince the other two, if him and I can convince the other two to play this game with us, it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be an excellent time. And so I think and so I asked him. I said, "Hey guys, what's your Steam IDs? So we can get together and online and do this." Guns of Icarus Online isn't exactly a popular game anymore. It was back when I was in high school. It was my game in high school. I would be I would just be craving to play it, and I did not have internet here, and I did not have a decent computer, but I had a computer that was good enough to play it. And so when I was somewhere with good internet, oh hell yeah, that's what I was doing. That hands down, nothing else mattered. Nothing else mattered. That was what I was doing. You know, I mean that after I mean I had my World of Warcraft phase, of course, but that was the game. That was the game that I craved. You know, I mean I did crave playing World of Warcraft to a certain extent, but you do ICC, because I played back during the Wrath days. You do ICC, you get through that, you have that experience, and it's just not the same. Every time after, because it's. I mean, yeah, we did. My cousin did introduce me to private servers, and that was really good and nostalgic and everything. But I was just it just wasn't the same. I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. Playing on a private server, during the Wrath era when things were, like they were, it was nice. It was nice and nostalgic. I enjoyed it. Um, but it wasn't the same as it was. I forgot. I kind of looked at it. I was kind of remembering through rose tinted glasses, and then once it became time to level up professions, that's when I remembered. Oh, yeah, this was some of the not so good things. But with my enhanced knowledge from then to with my enhanced knowledge from then, it was fine. I knew how to optimize to a certain extent, and that was good. That was good and nice. But Guns of Icarus Online, ooh, that was good stuff. That was good stuff. And I hopped into one of the new tutorials on Wednesday, and it's a little slippery. I need to adjust my sensitivity settings for in game a little bit, but it's a good it's a good time. Still, I mean, it looks a little odd, the game by comparison to other games that I play now, which have arguably better graphics. They're definitely not as slippery when it comes to controls. They don't feel as slippery, but I think it'll still be a fun time. It's too bad the PvP scene isn't really alive anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. And I don't know enough people who play the game or would play the game to set up a proper PvP lobby. But ooh man, they added PvE, so we've got that. We've got that. So I guess that's really all that really matters, is that there is something to get in with some people and play. So, so I'm looking forward to potentially convincing my nephew's roommates to play this game with us and have a great time, because they play Helldivers, and I was going to buy Helldivers, but then the whole Sony thing happened, and now I'm pretty guarded about it, and so I turned my attention to the past. What's something that can that's what's something from yesteryear that we can potentially get onto, and get playing. And Guns of Icarus, it's $5. You can buy Alliance for $5. And that's great. Let me see. Hold on. Let me actually look here. So if Guns of Icarus, let me just search up Icarus in my Steam library. CARUS. So Guns of Icarus Alliance and online are $5. You buy Alliance and you get online for free because it runs off the same basic framework. However, Flight of the Icarus is also $5. And why is it it's mostly negative? This yeah, it's okay. All right. See, I see something. I see the negatives. I understand. And yeah, the first game is not fantastic by any means. It really isn't. But it's a nice proof of concept. Like, okay, this is what we're doing. This is, it's fine. It's fine. It's. I mean, yeah. Is it worth $5? Yeah, okay, maybe, sure. I mean, $5 isn't too terribly much, even by today's standards with the economy and whatnot. $5, but online is definitely more. Online is definitely worth way more than $5. I'd still pay like 15-20 bucks for it today. It's really, really, really good. And it yeah. I think I'm gonna have a really good time with with the guys. With my nephew's with my nephew and his roommates. Oh, there's ash. I burned a hole in my pants. Damn it. I burned another hole in these pants. Damn it. Well, that sucks. Well, whatever. That's what happens when that's what happens when you smoke and accidentally drop ash on yourself. You burn a hole in the pants. Yeah, there's a second hole in the pants. Okay. Well, like I said, that's what happens. Damn it. Well, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, it's a fun game. It's still it's still nice. There we go. Jeez. Alright. Well, this sucks. This sucks that now there's another hole in these pants. This is a fresh hole too. I can tell by how it feels. It hasn't softened up by hasn't really softened up a lot, but whatever. Um, but whatever. It's a good time. Well, and it's going to be a good time to play with these guys and whatnot. So it's fine. It'll be a good time. I just need to convince them. I just need to convince them. Hey, um, you know, let's get in here. Let's do this. Let's play this game. We'll have to find some time to do it, especially with my chaotic schedule. But the games are quick. They're relatively quick, so I don't, we could get in and play one game and still be good. So, it's not like, it's not like there's anything, terrible going on there. So yeah, $5. Yeah, like I said, I told them I'd buy it myself for them. It's like, here, I am shilling out this cash. It's not that much cash, but I'm putting out this cash so that we can have so that you can experience what I experienced, or at least something akin to it. It's a fun time, and it's going to be a good time because I know how to coordinate a team. I know how to work on a team. One one of my unlike one of Aiden's particular roommates. So I think it'll be good. I think it'll be nice. And maybe maybe eventually I'll buy Helldivers and replace the team killer in that game. They're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be like, yeah, we're gonna hop into Helldivers, and he's gonna, the team killer is gonna go, oh yeah, I'll squat up, and they're like, no, we got GZ now. We got GZ now. You know, he knows how to, he knows how to, work on a team. He doesn't, uh, he doesn't cluster bomb us. At least not intentionally. Now, if I say, hey, throwing a cluster bomb at this big enemy, and they go, yeah, I'm going to ignore that. I'm gonna call it out. Be like, hey, cluster bomb. I'm gonna say that before I throw it. I'm not gonna just toss it and go, hey guys, cluster bomb. I'm just gonna go, hey, cluster bomb in like 3 seconds, and then after 3 seconds, toss it, and then you know whatever. But yeah, kind of reminds me that there's not really MMOs aren't really they're not really they're not the same as they were. I mean, ESO. I played ESO in college, and Warframe, and I mean, Warframe can kind of be, Warframe is, it's kind of an interesting, MMO style. It's kind of an interesting game. ESO is, more traditional to, it's more like World of Warcraft. The combat is a lot more involved, which is nice. But I eventually just lost interest in ESO. It's like, well, it's I don't really want to do this anymore, and so I just stopped playing, which kind of sucked because I kind of miss those guildies, a little bit, and I imagine they're doing stuff. I mean, I'm doing stuff, so I mean, and I think it'd be fun to tell them like, hey guys, remember how I was in college? Well, I graduated. Remember how I said I was going to get a master's degree? Well, I did that. It'd be a just have a catch up session, really. Like, hey guys, I did it. I sort of. I'm working. I got the master's degree, and I'm working towards getting the resources to move to where the jobs are. It's great. I work two jobs now. Uh, but yeah, just a catch up session with the old ESO guildies would be nice. It's really hard. It's really hard to find when it comes to the people that I used to play games with, it's really hard to play games with them because we don't really have a lot of overlapping interests. Um, we really don't have a lot of overlapping interests, and I mean, I'm speaking for myself here when I say that the interest in the games that we used to play isn't really there anymore. Like, I don't want to play Warframe anymore. You know, I mean, would I pick it up again just to kind of see what's changed and you know maybe do a few runs somewhere with some of those guys I used to play Warframe with? Sure, I guess, but I wouldn't get back into it the way I was into it in college. And so, and when it comes to finding new games, it's like, well, do I have to pay for it? I don't really want to. You know, I mean, yeah, I guess, WoW, I kind of had to pay for until the private servers became a thing, but still, I don't want to play Warcraft anymore. Um, you know, and my interests in terms of games are really more single player oriented, and so there's that's an issue. Um, and so it's really hard. And even getting the people together that I do kind of hang around with online now, that problem still exists. We don't really have overlapping interests. Like, I like RTSs and single player games, and but they're not really into RTSs. I mean, Aiden is, but when it comes to you know going in and actually playing an RTS, when it comes to Aiden and I can't fight each other because I win because I just I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I know what doing in terms of builds and whatnot, and I can do it faster than he can. It's and maybe not so much anymore because it has been some time since I last played. You know, I last played Supreme Commander. That's one example. But I think once I shook the rust off, it would just it wouldn't be the same, which again kind of sucks. But hey, I'm looking at Sanctuary, which is made by the people who made the big expansion mod for Supreme Commander 2, and it's looking quite promising. So I'm waiting for that, and I think that's going to be really good. Um, but the problem of a lack of overlapping interest between myself and the different people that I kind of hang out with online still persists. Because when it comes to games for myself, I like to stick with a game that I start playing until I either just lose interest to the point to where I just kind of naturally drop it. Fate Grand Order is a good example. Or or until I beat it. Like, well, let's see, what's a game that I've beaten and put down recently? Let me look at my Steam library real quick. Like Dragon Quest, Dragon Quest 11. I mean, fuck, I'd play Dragon Quest 11 again just because it's so good. But I beat it, and so it's I kind of don't want to do that anymore. Um, and so it's eh. And again, Dragon Quest is a single player experience, so I can't really play that with other people. Um, but eh, man, it's hard. It's hard. With my interests and comparing to the interests of other people, it's difficult. It is certainly not easy, but you know, eventually, I guess I'll figure it out, and we'll kind of we'll kind of see what the what there is that we can do. I am certainly hoping that something comes along to where we can do that, but you know we'll see if we can find something. I'm hopeful, but uh, just to see, just to see. But right now it's hard and it kind of sucks, and also I really don't have a lot of time. Given that I'm working two jobs and how my schedule is just so unstable right now, and that kind of sucks. But hopefully, eventually, it will. Yeah. But we'll see it. We'll see if something good comes along, and you know bring kind of helps liberate some of that lonely feeling. I hope so. I hope so. Man, we'll see. And again, I'm hopeful, but at the same time, well, uh, eh, but yeah, the Guns of Icarus thing I hope is the start of that, to where we can really kind of just push into push into you know hey, this is gonna be this has the possibility to be a really good, really fun time. But we'll see. We will see. And yeah. I touched the cherry. I touched the cherry. I scraped a bunch of ash onto myself. Ow, 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 ow. Luckily, it was mostly on the nail, but still, that hurts. Mm. Not a bad bird. Not a bad bird. We're good. We're good. But yeah, hopefully this is the start of. Hopefully this is the start of a. Hopefully this is pushing the boulder up the hill, and then hopefully playing Guns of Icarus is pushing the boulder down. Pushing the boulder over the cusp of the hill, and it starts rolling by itself, because that would be great. You know. But until then, I'll stick to my work grinding, and stick to my daily gotcha grinds, so that way I can you know end up end up in a position to where, hey, if those guys decide to come back to for example Genshin or something, I can kind of show them the new ropes, like, hey guys, look at all these new characters that you could potentially get. Hey, I know how they work. I've got most of them, and even the ones I don't have, I understand how they work. I think I'm only missing like two characters or some such. Actually, you know what? Since Seven Knights 2 is autoing, let me run Genshin here, and we'll see if we'll see just how many characters I am missing, because I did stop the addiction there with Genshin, because I was spending way too much trying to collect every character. And getting a new character is really cool and really nice. Raising a new character sucks. It sucks. It takes so long, especially with the goals that I've set out for what I consider a character, when I consider a character to be done. It's a lot. It's like 2 months worth of grinding resources and everything. Um, and considering the time constraints that I have now, it's not exactly easy. But I stick to it as best I can, and that's why with all these new games coming out, like Wuthering Waves and whatnot, I'm not I'm busy playing other games, and so I'm not interested in playing I'm not interested in picking up something new. I am only missing 2 characters. Holy shit. But I'm not really interested in, you know, grabbing another game and going, yeah, you know, another gotcha game, you know, that requires grinding and time and, you know, this and that and blah, 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 etc. So I'm not really interested in doing that. And so it's really hard to, you know, basically stay with, you know, with the guys. Well, you know, when I say the guys in this instance, I mean like my work people. It's really hard to stay with them because they just switch games. They switch games easier than I do. You know, meanwhile, I like to stick, you know, until the game either shuts down, like Seven Nights 1, or, you know, I just lose interest, like Fate Grand Order. And, you know, but, you know, I'm still sticking with Genshin, because, I mean, you know, I've got a lot of work to do to, you know, get the characters that I have raised up and, you know, done and everything, you know, so that way if they do come back, I mean, I know Dan wants to come back, you know, says he wants to come back for Natland. It's like, well, I'll be here. I'll be ready to show you the way. You know, tell you it's like we got new artifacts. Hey, we got, you know, all these new characters. They do you know, they do these things. You know, your teams are a little, you know, teams might need a little bit of work. I'm here to help. You know, that'll be my enjoyment is, you know, being able to jump into co-op to help them out in their worlds because I've built a number of characters. You know, I've got versatility. You know, they can play what they want. I'll play, you know, I'll play to help them. That's the thing. But we'll have to see. It's a process, certainly. It is certainly a process. Um, but yeah, I don't put games down easily until I lose interest, they go offline, or I've beaten them. You know, when I beat a game, I move on. You know, simple. I mean, it's plain and simple. But yeah, when it comes to today's Genshin grind, oh boy, do I got things I gotta do. I gotta grind out. I gotta grind out materials. You know, I got a bunch of story quests that I need to do. I got a bunch of story quests I need to do. Actually, let me double check. I think we got a lot. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I've got 14 story quests to do. I still have to do all kinds of hangout stuff and world quests and, you know, you know, the regular grinding for you know, for characters. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but hey, I can do this to unwind when I'm not working on you know, when I'm not working on project stuff. So I guess that's nice. Now, is it, you know, I tell myself that somewhat to you know, help make it easier to you know, to help make it easier to, you know, actually sit down and get it done. But at the same time, the just a sheer amount of work is also somewhat discouraging. But despite that, I do. It does feel wonderful to you know, to go in and actually get something done, you know, and you know, to actually get something done and, you know, cross it off the list because I do use an external tool to help you know, cross things off the list. It feels really good to do that. Um, and so, you know, I do that. I do that, you know, and you know, it kind of helps with the you know, feeling discouraged. Um, but yeah, just there's a lot of work to do, and some of it is dependent upon, you know, luck. You know, that's artifacts. The artifact grind is pain, but I think I can get it. You know, I just gotta sit down, focus up and just take it just one step at a time. That's how you have to do it with with things like this. That's how it's not a gotcha sprint. It's a gotcha marathon, and you gotta make it work. Um, you gotta make it work like that in order to not feel disappointed constantly and burn yourself out on it. So that's just yeah. So I sit, I get it done, and it feels good to cross stuff off the list because I mean, even just the little bits, that's progress. So I'm not feeling bad about it at all. Uh, so I just need to remember that I have really fallen behind in a lot of areas because I would clean through content back in the day, um, but not so much now because of the time constraints and the discouragement and whatnot. But you know that's something that I'm overcoming, so I feel pretty good about that. Um, and so I'm not feeling bad. I'm not feeling overly bad, I should say, about it. And all the other grinds that I tend to can be accomplished in no time at all, which leaves a lot of time to just sit down and actually get on the real stuff. Dailies are one thing. Dailies do provide resources and do help, but when it comes to really getting into it, you got to sit down and you gotta push. You gotta think, okay, what is something that I can do, you know? And yeah, I mean the list on the external tool that I use makes that easy, so I'm not worried. And I just need to remind myself that every resource that I pick up, I'm going to need at some point, even if I don't need it immediately. So just go there and basically just kind of wait and see if something comes up that brings me and the guys back onto the same field where it's like, all right, boys, let's tackle something together. Fuck it. Whether that be from the perspective of me moving into a new game or them coming back to where I'm at. Who knows? And that's me speaking from the Taco Boy's perspective. When it comes to Aiden and his roommates, well, that's you know, do we go back into the past for the Guns of Icarus stuff, or do I move into Helldivers? Because like I said, it's difficult sometimes with the lack of overlapping interests. There's not a lot of overlap. I'm not meaning to imply that the. Also, I just realized that the sound is still on. I do mean to, I don't mean to say that, hey, there's nothing, there's no overlapping interest whatsoever. There is. It's there. It's just, it's not a huge amount of overlap. And so, it can be a little bit difficult. But, you know, I'll keep up on it, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And yeah, just it's like I said in previous live streams. Getting on my grind, getting into that rhythm. Building up those those good habits. I mean, it helps that I enjoy grinding. I love it. I love grinding. So I'm not worried at all about burning out when it comes to grinding. I'll just switch to a different grind. Because again, I love it. I love the grind. That's why I keep coming back to it. But yeah, and also just maintaining the not spending money thing, which is really it's. I mean, the temptation ebbs and flows when it comes to games like Seven Nights 2 and whatnot. I just don't feel the need because I know that most of the stuff for Seven Nights 2 is not priced well at all and is definitely not worth it, and so that makes the temptation minimal. But now that I think about it, there really isn't a game that I'm playing now where I am tempted, which I guess kind of helps. I guess kind of lends itself to the fact that I've really, really beaten that addiction. The financial incentive, I guess, is strong enough to keep me from spending. So that's good stuff. That's good stuff. I mean, hey, all those other live streams where I was rolling for characters, that sucked. Because we get to see how dog shit my luck can be sometimes. But, whatever. We'll see what the future brings in terms of, not just the games that I end up playing, but also just hopefully my schedule stabilizes. Really, really, what I'm hoping for is that the domino schedule just stabilizes. That it becomes consistent. It was consistent for about a month, and that was great because I could get into a groove. I could stay in that groove, but then the schedule started changing, and that disrupted everything. Um, I mean, I was just starting to get ready to get to have the appropriate space in my schedule for the plasma clinic, and then the schedule changed. It's like, well, shit. Now I have to reformat my schedule and try to figure out where I could squeeze it in and whatnot. And as a result, I haven't been able to get to the clinic, which sucks because it's a little bit extra I could be putting into my pocket to you know have for bills or for other stuff that I want to purchase, um, or for an emergency or whatever. I need to buy fuses for my car right now. That shouldn't be too expensive, but what if something more major breaks down on the car and I need to send it into the shop? It's going to cost a little bit, and that plasma money would help immensely towards me not feeling the pain so much. And also, my financial goals for the year. The plasma money would go a long way to helping meet those potentially early. I have fallen behind a little bit on it, but it it should be okay. Um, that reminds me, I need to double. I got a message that I need to check, which I guess I can log into and just check that real quick and see what kind of devastating news that will present to me. I doubt it'll be that at all, so we'll be okay. Um, Hello. What? Ah. 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 Uh, Wait, hold on. So this. Let's see. Let's try this one. So let's see. Changed. Yeah. So I mean there's. I'm still trying to adjust into things so that way I can you know get into a nice groove in order to you know get a good schedule and accomplish my goals and stay on top of things. But we'll see. We will see. Um, why is this just not okay? Sure, why not? Whatever. We'll see what it turns into. We'll see what it turns into. I think I'll be all right, because let me open up the expenses document to see if we're see what my estimations are and how that will impact my stuff in the future. So it's it's about all right. It's about all right. My budget is balanced. I'm not in any kind of financial trouble or anything, which is nice. Which is nice. If things can get a little tight, but it's not egregious or anything. So I think we're okay. I think we'll be all right. Um, and so yeah, I just need to I need to look over things and wait, I-13, is that this one? It is this one. Oh, I double added there. That's not good. So this. So I do realize that I did make a mistake on one of the documents. Not that it makes over much of a difference, but it's still important that those things are accurate. So that way, But yeah, you know, I'm doing all right. I just had some acid reflux. Hmm. Been a while since that happened. But yeah, hoping that in the near future things in terms of being able to game with people is it changes. Because I think this is I want to have fun like I did back in the day. And while it may not necessarily be with the same group of people, I mean, people come and go in life, and so I just have accepted that, and I just need to find the people, find the games, and have fun. Have fun, with that. It'll be fine. It'll be a good time. And maybe it'll even be a hell of a time. Maybe it'll even be a hell of a time, and that's really what I'm hoping for. And we're almost to the end of the smoke here, and I realize I have been kind of looping on this a lot, just kind of saying the same thing over and over again. I mean, one thing that I can say for certain is today I am not dead tired. Yesterday I was dead tired. I came home, I peeled the uniform off, I hit the bed, and that was it. I woke up at 3:30 to get ready for work, and worked for about 12 hours today. Came home here. There was a little bit where I was kind of fading out at work today, but I overcame that. Came home, went all right. I didn't think about canceling stream, but I thought, oh god, I don't want to feel bad during the stream. That would suck. But then I overcame that kind of second wind kind of hit, and I went feeling good, feeling all right. So you know I think I'll feel real good once that first paycheck with the schedule change at Domino's finally hits. I'll be able to really see the results of the hours that I've been putting in. I definitely can see the results of the driving change. That was nice. My wallet was so huge, but I managed to kind of make some deposits, trade in some bills for bigger bills, whatever. So it's fine. It's good stuff. And it just so happens that these couple days, I've got some good time where I can sit down and really really grind hard, on the games and various project related things and get some good stuff done. So I'm looking forward to that. Um, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And yeah, yeah. And so yeah, I think that'll be good. I think that'll be nice. And it's just a matter of you know getting things together. I mean, I'm making moves. Don't get me wrong. I'm making moves, trying to trying to get people, trying to coordinate with some people here and go, hey, boys, let's play these games. Let's do this. Let's do this shit. Good stuff. But I mean, I kind of remember, in previous live streams where I was like, "Ah, come on, feel really lonely, and I'm making moves to stop that, to kind of, get into it. But work does come first, and work does take up quite a bit of my time. I mean, I had a 72-hour week this week. I don't know what next week's gonna look like, but I think it'll be all right. I think once the schedule settles down and I can actually know decently well what time I can carve for gaming, for project work, and everything, then that will really help productivity. Um, One thing that I did learn this week is, yes, sleeping and resting are important. Making time for eating is also really important because at one point during the week I just didn't want to eat at all. I just wanted to sleep, but that wasn't solving the problem. I needed, and you can sleep quite a bit, but there's still going to be an energy deficit there if you don't have food. And so I corrected also during this week to include more eating, and there's pretty noticeable improvement pretty quickly. So you know I know this is basic stuff, but you kind of forget some things when you're focused on getting to work and making sure that you're at least in a good enough condition to work. Um, but like I said, I've corrected. I know how to. I know what I can get up to, and well, we're good. We're good there. It's all good. Ooh, this Reconquista's getting real earthy here at the end. It's nice. It was a good idea to make the purchase of these particular cigars because God, I have been great. I had a hankering. I had a hankering, and with the box with 45 cigars coming in, the boxes are quite well stocked, and I feel pretty good about that because that means it will last quite some time. And another thing that I realized is not reminding Aiden to take his subscription smokes with him is a fantastic idea because it means that when he's here, we're not drawing from my main supply, we're drawing from subscription. That being said, I didn't mind drawing from my main supply. I even bought extra smokes to ensure that the main supply would exist for that purpose. But having the subscription here with me, so that way when he's here, we smoke that, is great because I mean, yeah, I'm saving money and keeping my main supply even more intact. But it also kind of erases the question. It also kind of erases the question of, well, what do we want? It makes it easier to go, okay, well, you know, here's the pamphlet. Pick one. You know, easy, easy. It's great. You know, that being said, if subscription arrives late or something, or the way the weeks kind of pan out, or whatever, it's not going to be it's not going to be any kind of horrible big deal if 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 we have to dig into my supply. I mean, I just got a ton of really good cigars. So it's no big deal if that happens. And again, I don't mind. So you know it's cool. It's fine. It's great. But yeah, not reminding him to take subscription was unintentionally a pretty good move, and one that I will be attempting to sustain, just to just to make the selection process easier. Um, which I think from that perspective, Aiden will understand that understand where I'm coming from. Like, well, it'll make it easier to select and get in there and get lit up, so that way we can just unwind from our weeks. He works a pretty stressful job himself. Meanwhile, I'm working two jobs, so that puts a decent amount of strain on me physically, and just kind of being able to unwind like that is good. And so taking the decision making, taking a good deal of the decision making out of it, kind of just helps us expedite that process to relaxing and just you know getting on with it, as it were. That being said, if he does say, if he does remember, hey, I want to take my subscription, I'm not going to say no. He paid for them; they're his. I'm not going to keep his property from him. That would be wrong of me. You know, but I will suggest, hey, leave them here for this reason. And if he still says no, then again, it's his property. I have no right to keep it from him. And so, I'll just, we'll just go back to the way things were. No problem, no problem. Um, which is, yeah, you know. But yeah, I gotta grind. I gotta go to bed. I mean, I don't feel overly tired. I mean, keep in mind, it was a Friday. It was still Friday, and I did still work both jobs, so I am a little tired, but I'm not dead tired like I have been a couple of different times in recent memory. So it's fine. It's whatever. You know, I'm still feeling all right. I'm still feeling pretty decent. I mean, physically there's wear and tear. Don't get me wrong, there is wear and tear, but it's nothing. It's nothing that I can't handle. I mean, I've been handling it pretty well. It's not like the internship where I was just dead exhausted all the time, and it just sucked. It just sucked so bad. But I'm all right. I'm still doing okay. I've adjusted to the two job life, and because it's what you got to do. It was what I have to do, at least, to you know keep the bills paid and maintain the household as much as I can. That being said, though, the peace that I've been experiencing these past couple of days has been fantastic. Maybe I'll send my mom to her niece, like, hey, take her for a week. Have fun. No give these backsies until, a week. And once the schedule stabilizes, I'll be able to, I'll be able to get up. I've had smokes. One of my stepbrothers, messaged me asking, hey, let's smoke something. And I asked him what he wanted, and he told me, and I bought it. And I've just been hanging on to them for about a year now. So once the schedule stabilizes, I can message him, go, hey, you doing anything on this day? And if he says, no, I'll go, well, hey, let's smoke. What's your address? And then I'll, get out there. We'll have a good smoke. We'll have some good conversation. If he says no, I'm busy this day, then I'll go, okay, well, just, let me know, and keep in contact, with my stable schedule. Make room in the time slot. Whatever, and get that done. Have a nice time. Like I've been meaning to for about a year. Yeah, I don't think it's been a year, but it's been some time. The smoke's been sitting in the humidor for some time. You know, getting out, getting out to actually communicate with people is nice. That being said, considering my birthday is on the horizon, I've been thinking, what if somebody asks me, hey, what do you want for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday? There's a lot of different things that I could say, but I think one of the things that I could say and be truthful is I want a day. What because I know asking for more than a day is asking too much. I want a day where not a single living person contacts me for any reason. And I realize that sounds so terrible. That sounds so awful to, to say. That being said, it's an honest answer. That is what I want. I just want a day where I don't have to worry or think about anything in relation to, my various, responsibilities and commitments. Just none of that. Just one day where I can just, you know, and maybe even asking for a day is asking too much. But that's what I want, is just a day to just sit back and just and not be and just not be disturbed at all. Maybe that's asking too much. Maybe that's really really terrible. But that's honestly what I want. And I understand that saying that might upset some people. Like, oh, why do you not want to spend time with us? And blah blah blah. It's like, look, all right, it's that's just what I want. I can't. It's my nature. To want periods of solitude in order to recharge. And I haven't had. I haven't had. I mean, I have had times where I've been kind of alone, but the looming shadow of things that of things and of things and working all the time and all this is there, but just one day where it's just none of that, none of that, where I can sit down here in this chair or outside or whatever I decide to do and just lean back with a smoke in my hand and a smile on my face. You know? Just that. That's what I want. And just one day. I don't think one day. It doesn't even have to be every year, but just one day where that just you know. But we'll see how realistic that becomes. When the day gets closer and inevitably comes. I know I'm gonna have to work on my birthday, which is fine. I'm already I've worked on my birthday for years. It's fine. I kind of keep my birthday a secret so that people don't bother me over much about it, because it's just it gets on my nerves. You know, other people celebrate different people celebrate their birthday in different ways. I just want to I don't want it acknowledged. Just don't even talk to me about it. I don't view it that way. Just leave me alone. Just don't even acknowledge it. It's just whatever. Or if you must acknowledge it by just leaving me be. Don't say a word to me about it. I could not care less. That oh boy, I'm another year older. I don't feel any different. I don't care. I know it's a bit too much to ask, because I know at least mom and grandma are gonna be all, oh, happy birthday. It's like, okay, thank you. But that's the extent of it. That's all I want. Just if that, let that be the minimum and the maximum. Or yeah, let that be the maximum. Is just the passing happy birthday, and that's it. And I realize this sounds terrible. It sounds really terrible. It's like, oh, you complain about being lonely, but then you want to be left alone. Just one day. Just one day. That's all. That's all I'm asking, is one day, 24 hours of just nothing, just just basically silence. But Yep. I finished the smoke, and I think this has been a nice 2 hours. You know, good to see that one of the guy, one of the chatters returned. Thank you for dropping in. I know I know you said you'd pop in for a bit and you're not here now, but thanks for dropping in. Thanks for for checking up and wishing me well on the projects. Um, I do intend to get some work done today after running a few errands and whatnot. But yeah, that's what it is. That's yeah. I'll end stream off here. I won't keep you guys any longer. Um, I did manage to get the due reviews off the phone, so I will now be reviewing the calendar in order to figure out when the last time I posted was, and then figuring out how many video posts I need to make in order to catch up, and then planning that out. So there might be in the coming weeks there might be uh, more uploads than there were, but that's not going to be the norm. It's basically just me playing catch up, and then after I get done playing catch up, we'll hopefully go back to the regularly scheduled schedule, which is the Thursdays and Saturdays, and of course these live streams will still be happening on Saturday morning. So, hopefully hopefully I do not forget today or tomorrow to start scheduling posts, and those will be releasing hopefully in a steady stream. Um, if I do end up forgetting, then, well, hopefully somebody who has my number and sees this, um, jumps in and texts me and says, "Hey, GZ, remember videos?" I'll go, "Oh yeah, you're right," and then I'll get that done. But if nothing else, I will see all of you here next week. 6:30 is the see you see you all next week at 6:30, and until